Hi students, we have already learned how to find out electric field using Gauss law. Here I have some problems that uses Gauss law to find out the electric field in some places. So let's move on to the first question. The question is like this. A sphere of radius r has a uniform charge density rho. A sphere of radius r by 2 is cut out from the original sphere as shown in the figure below. The center of the cutout sphere lies at z equal to r by 2. After the small sphere has been cut out, the magnitude of the electric field at z equal to minus r by 2 is E equal to rho r by n epsilon 0. The value of integer n is. The summary of the question is like this. So we have a sphere of radius capital R, and from that sphere a smaller sphere of radius r by 2 has been cut out. So this is our r by 2 radius sphere. The sphere is cut out means the charge density at this region is 0. So that is only you need to think of. So in the real question, we are asked to find out the electric field at a point which is z equal to minus r by 2. So that will be almost lying here. So directly below the r by 2. Okay, this is our point minus r by 2. Okay, how to solve this question? Here we have two spheres. Okay, one is with charge density rho and one is an empty space. So what do you mean by an empty space according to charge? So here the charge is 0. So how you can make there the charge density as 0? So you can think of like this, that a sphere of radius r by 2 with negative charge density rho has been put into that place. That means there is two spheres, two charge densities, one is rho and one is minus rho. So the sum of that will be, the effective charge will be 0. So you can find, now you have two spheres of charge, two charge densities, and you know how to find out the electric field caused due to all these two spheres at a point minus r by 2. So adding those two, you will get the effective electric field at that point. This is our bigger sphere with radius r, and this has a charge density rho. And here I have a smaller sphere with radius r by 2, and this has a charge density of minus rho. Okay, what I am going to do is I am selecting this and keeping it here. So now this space has two charge densities, minus rho and plus rho, and the effective charge density will be 0. So here is, so consider that this is the origin and this is our point minus r by 2. So here we need to find out the electric field using both the spheres. So first I am considering your effective electric field will be the sum of electric field due to the small sphere plus effective electric field due to bigger sphere at the point minus r by 2. So first we will find out the electric field due to bigger charge, bigger sphere. So EB we need to find out. For that we are using Gauss law. Gauss law is closed integral E dot ds equal to q enclosed divided by epsilon 0. So E is a constant, E will be taken outside. So E multiplied by ds is the area of the Gaussian surface that passes through the point minus r by 2. So this is our center of the sphere and this distance is r by 2. So the area will be 4 pi r square. R square is R by 2 all square. This is equal to Q enclosed. What is the Q enclosed? Volume of the sphere into charge density. So rho multiplied by 4 by 3 pi R is R by 2. So R by 2 all cube divided by epsilon 0. So here R by 2 all square and R by 2 all cube get cancelled, and 4 pi get cancelled, and your EB will be what? E will be rho R divided by 3 into 2, 6 epsilon 0. This is your EB. Now you need to find out ES, electric field to small sphere. So here is our small sphere, and the point minus R by 2 is outside of our smaller sphere. So the radius of the sphere is R by 2, and from the origin it is again R by 2 distance. So the total distance will be R. So your Gaussian surface will be like this. Okay, with a radius of R, capital R. That you need to be noted. So the electric field, how you can find out? E into area of the Gaussian surface. That is what? 4 pi, your radius is capital R. So 4 pi R square, each is equal to Q enclosed. Q enclosed is rho charge density multiplied by volume of the sphere. So charge density is minus rho multiplied by volume. Volume is what? Volume of the smaller sphere. So that is 4 by 3 pi R by 2 all cube divided by epsilon 0. So here also 4 pi get cancelled, and from here R square and R cube get cancelled, and you will get a R. So here I will put R2 cube, and here we have left with an R. So electric field ES is equal to what? Minus rho capital R divided by 2 cube is 8. 8 into 3 is 24. 24 epsilon 0. So what is your final electric field? Final electric field is equal to EB plus ES, which is equal to rho R divided by 6 epsilon 0 minus rho R divided by 24 epsilon 0. So this is equal to 24. If you subtract this, you will get 3 rho R divided by 24 epsilon 0. That is rho R divided by 8 epsilon 0. So in the question, you have given the electric field, and that is E is equal to rho R divided by n epsilon 0. So comparing to our answer, we will get n. So we are asked to find out n. So while comparing, you will get n as 8. So your answer is n equal to 8. So this is a JAM question asked in the previous years. Moving on to next question. The question is like this. A long coaxial cable carries a volume charge density rho on the inner cylinder of radius A and a uniform surface charge density sigma on the outer cylinder of radius B. Surface charge is negative and equal to the magnitude of the volume charge, so that as a whole the cable is neutral. Find the electric field in the region as R is less than A, R less than A less than R less than B, and R greater than B. Now, what is given in the question? So what do you mean by coaxial? Coaxial means having same axis. So a cable means a cylinder. So cylinders of same axis carries a volume charge density rho on the inner cylinder. So you have a cylinder, inner cylinder of radius A. So first we will draw a cylinder having a radius A. This is our coaxial cable. So cable means it is very long. So we can consider it as infinitely long. So this is our A, and that has a charge density rho. So this has a charge density rho on it, and a uniform surface charge density sigma on the outer cylinder of radius B. So we have one more cylinder. So So the radius of that is B. Okay, that is small b. So this is our outer cylinder. So, and it has a surface charge of sigma. So we have a surface charge sigma on the outer cylinder. So inner cylinder is solid. Okay. So inner cylinder is solid and outer cylinder has an only surface charge. And outer cylinder of radius B. Surface charge is negative. So this charge is minus sigma and equal to the magnitude of the volume charge. So as the whole cable is neutral. So what do you mean by that? If I am taking a cross section like this, so here we will have a surface charge density, and here we will have a volume charge density. If you add both of that, you will get 0. So that is the meaning. So you are asked to find out the electric field at two places. One is inside, one is in between, and one is outside. Okay, first we will move on to the first section, that is inside the solid cylinder. Okay, where R is less than A. So by applying Gauss law, this may be our point, which is inside less than A, and this has a distance R from the center or the axis. This is our axis. We can consider a cylinder of radius small r inside the cable. So we have our Gauss law as in closed integral E dot ds equal to q enclosed divided by epsilon 0. So since E is a constant, we can take it outside. E into ds is our surface area of the Gaussian surface. So that is what? Area of the cylinder with the radius small r. That is 2 pi r L. L we can take it out as the length of the cylinder. That is equal to Q enclosed. Q enclosed is what? So that is equal to charge density rho multiplied by volume of the cylinder. That is pi r square L divided by epsilon 0. From here, pi and pi get cancelled, r and 1r get cancelled, and L get cancelled. So your E will be rho r divided by 2 epsilon 0. Actually, this equation you can get by heart so that you can save a lot of time. That if you are given with a uniform surface charge density rho, and if the point is inside, the electric field is given by rho r by 2 epsilon 0. Now moving on to the next point, B. B is where A less than R less than B. A less than R less than B means R is in between, R is greater than A and less than B. So it is in between A and B. So this is our portion. So here if I am considering a point, so in the same way here we can write as E into surface area of the Gaussian surface. That is 2 pi r L, which is equal to total charge enclosed. Here you need to note that our charge lies only up to the radius of A. So you need to take the limit up to A. So rho into pi, instead of r we need to take A, because charge density is only up to A square L divided by epsilon 0. So here pi and pi get cancelled and L get cancelled. So your electric field will be rho A square divided by 2r epsilon 0. Okay, this is our electric field in between the two cylinders. Now moving on to the third area, that is C, which is R greater than B. So R greater than B means it will be somewhere around here. So it is outside of the coaxial cable. So here, if you see that if you take the charge enclosed, you have already given in the question that will be 0. So here the effective charge inside your Gaussian surface or Gaussian geometry will be 0. So your electric field will be simply 0. So in the outside of the coaxial cable, your electric field will be 0. Now moving on to the third question. This is a JAM question asked in the 2019. The question is like this. A small spherical ball having a charge Q and mass M is tied to a thin massless non-conducting string of length L. The outer end of the string is fixed to an infinitely extended thin non-conducting sheet with uniform surface charge density sigma. Under equilibrium, the string makes an angle 45° with the sheet as shown in the figure. Then sigma is given by, so you are asked to find out sigma. So g is the acceleration due to gravity and epsilon 0 is the permittivity of free space. So this is your question. So what is given in the question? A small spherical ball having a charge Q and mass M. So you have a ball, they have given the picture. So here you have a ball of mass M and charge Q is tied to a thin massless non-conducting string of length L. So this is your string. They have clearly mentioned that this string is massless, non-conducting. So the string is non-conducting. So there is no leakage of the charge from our ball. That means Q will be a constant. And string of length L. The other end of the string is fixed to an infinitely extended thin non-conducting sheet with uniform surface charge density sigma. So this sheet is infinitely long. So directly you can use the Gauss law. That is why they have given it as infinitely extended and thin non-conducting sheet. So why they have told non-conducting? Because if you place a charge Q near to a sheet, there will be an effect of this charge on the sheet if it is conducting, or if the charges can move, that will be rearranging according to this force. So to avoid that, they have given that it is non-conducting. That means the sigma will be also a constant. So you don't need to think of that also. So you have a constant sigma and a charge Q and mass M, and the angle of the string is 45. So you are asked to find out the charge density sigma. So here, if I redraw this figure, so here is our sheet with the charge density sigma, and you have the string like this, and here you have the mass M and charge Q. Okay, this angle is 45°. So now first of all, you have given with mass and charge. So if you are given with mass, you need to definitely think of gravity. So how will be the gravity acting on the mass m? So it will be directly downward. So that force will be mg. Okay. Since this is a infinitely long charge sheet, your electric field will be pointing in this direction. Okay. So your electric field will be perpendicular to the sheet. And so here, due to that electric field, you will be having a force on the ball. So that will be in this direction. So that is E electric field into Q. That is pointing in this direction. And here you have one more, because one more force, that is the tension. So the tension on the ball will be pointing in the upward direction, that we will call it as T. You extend this direction. So this is 45 and this is also 45 degree. Both are 45 degrees. Your components of electric and gravitational force in this direction will be equal to the tension. So you can write the expression for tension as T equal to, here first we are taking the electric force, electrostatic force. Electrostatic force will be in this direction, it will be EQ cos theta. So this will be EQ cos theta plus the component of gravitational force in this direction also will be mg cos theta. So if you are drawing the perpendicular line here, it will be this is your hypotenuse and your component in this direction will be adjacent side, so it will be cos theta. Here also in the same way you can draw 45 degree and this is your hypotenuse, so it will be cos theta. So you have given theta as 45, so it will be EQ cos 45. Cos 45 is 1 by root 2. So EQ divided by root 2 plus mg cos 45 is again 1 by root 2. So it will be 1 by root 2. And E is what? You know that you have already learned the equation for E as from a sheet of charge density sigma as sigma by 2 epsilon 0. So this can be written as sigma q divided by 2 root 2 epsilon 0 plus mg by root 2. So this is your tension. Now from this figure again you need one more equation to eliminate the tension to find out the expression for sigma. So here your EQ is in this direction. So if you resolve the tension, your tension will have two factors. So if you resolve that in this direction, that must be equal to EQ, because this is your theta. Theta means it is 45 degree because it is directly opposite. So this is your T cos theta. So T cos theta must be equal to EQ because this ball is in equilibrium. So the forces must be cancel each other and the net force should be 0. So T cos theta is 45. T cos theta is equal to EQ. So this is your expression and this is your second expression. So T cos theta. Cos theta is what? Cos 45 is 1 by root 2. T by root 2 is equal to EQ. You know that sigma by 2 epsilon 0. Okay. So from this you will get T as root 2 sigma q divided by 2 epsilon 0. So this is your expression 2. So you can substitute So you can substitute for the t in the first equation as root 2 sigma q is divided by 2 epsilon 0 is equal to sigma q divided by 2 root 2 epsilon 0 plus mg divided by root 2. So if you are taking this to the left side, you will get as root 2 sigma q divided by 2 epsilon 0 minus sigma q divided by 2 root 2 epsilon 0 is equal to mg divided by root 2. Okay, here we can take sigma q divided by 2 epsilon 0 as common, and you will get root 2 minus 1 by root 2 equal to mg divided by root 2. So root 2 minus 1 by root 2 is what? Q divided by 2 epsilon 0. By multiplying a denominator and numerator, here it will be root 2 by 1. By multiplying with root 2 in the denominator and the numerator, you will get as root 2 into 2. Root 2 into root 2 will be 2 minus, here it will be 1 divided by, here root 2 will be a constant common, which is equal to mg divided by root 2. So this will be, so from here root 2 and root 2 can be cancelled, and 2 minus 1 you will get as 1. So sigma q divided by 2 epsilon 0 is equal to mg. So sigma is 2 mg epsilon 0 divided by q. So this is your final answer. So this is how we can do the above question. This is also asked in JAM 2019.